Hello, this is Joker, Jack Stalick, or Wes if you would like. Here to show a little bit of fun here. No, not really. Probably hopefully solve some issues that people have been having. It's a area that's kind of a pain, so I'm hoping I can help out at least. What we're gonna do today is, for those people that don't like to use the keyboard and mouse on Minecraft Java Edition, we're gonna help you out. We're gonna figure it out together here. Let's check it out here. Alright, let's get out of this screen here so we don't have the infinite effect. Okay, so what we have is Steam, right? Steam up here. Now, I couldn't find my Minecraft launcher executable file anywhere, but if you're able to do that, you might want to just go that route. But if you're playing Java, you probably want to do mods and stuff anyway. So go ahead and download Curseforge, and that's just a video I'm watching. And let's see. Curseforge, yeah. So usually, I just use Google. You throw Curseforge on there, and it'll take you basically right where you need to go. There's a Curseforge app here. Download for Windows, get that installed, and you'll be ready to go on that end. And once you have Curseforge installed, you're going to have to come here into Steam here, and then come up to Games, and go to Add a non-Steam game to my library. Now it should pop up in here for Curseforge, and you would select it. I already have it in there, so it's already there. But you would select it, and then you'd, add select program, and it'll pop up here. So from here, we can come in here, and we can go to controller configuration. That's where you're gonna want to go. So this is what I have here. This is for my Xbox controller, and we'll do PlayStation 4 as well. So this is one that I did myself. I set some different type of key bindings up and whatnot. Basically the idea is we're turning this controller into a keyboard. So these buttons are no longer A, B, Y, X. They are, spacebar, F8, F, E, so forth and so on. I have it like that because I've changed my own settings on a separate computer, but since I have gotten a new computer, I don't really need that anymore. So we can come over here and change that to left shift so we crouch with the B button. Alright, so we've got that. And these over here and these over here. So this is our movement for our keyboard. And if we hit this, and you see the mode shifting here, so we have these buttons. But if we if we hold our select button down, we get to actually change them up. So we have 8 buttons capable here, and then another 8 buttons capable for the directional pad. You can do the same thing. And that is what I've done here. I don't have it set up right now over here, but on my other computer I had it set up. I might even still be able to have it. No, okay, it's a radial menu right now. But we can still come and do that. That way it'll be ready for me when I want to set it up. Alright, good deal. Oh, that was not the right one. We probably don't want that. I don't know. Yeah, it's not too bad. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, so potentially we could possibly have even more here, right? So we could have 8, 16, and 24? Yeah. So you can have 24 bindings here, and then you got click here, so that's 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So you got a good amount of potential mini buttons here. I have my little extra button right there. Okay, so this is kind of the layout. If you want to recreate it yourself, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, if you go to Browse Configs, I have put it in here. It's under Minecraft Share, I think. I don't know. I'm going to probably have to I think I've changed it a bit, so let me go back here. Back. Okay, let's go ahead and export this config to the community. Oh yeah, you had to play with it first, right? Okay, so I'll play with it and I'll upload it later. Otherwise, it's still here. So we're gonna go ahead and do this, save it so I have it for later. Okay, now let's switch over to the other controller here. We're gonna switch to a PlayStation controller. Just a sec. Back to this one and whatnot. I have a config ready to go basically, but we can go over this one real quick. If you can't get the config or whatever, you can set it up yourself basically. So here we have all the good stuff. We're changing the PlayStation controller over to a keyboard, just like the Xbox controller here. Now this is the where I've got it, where you can find it. You go to the community tab, and it's under Minecraft Java PlayStation. Like there's only these two, at least on mine. I don't know if it might be different on other people's. Don't know why it would be, but once again, this is through Curseforge, so maybe that's why. But you can use it with Java modded, so it's just easier that way. You've got your right mouse and your left mouse with basically, you're breaking your block and you're placing your block as you'd expect it to be. Right trigger and left trigger, respectively. Everything's pretty much as it would be on, the Bedrock version of Minecraft, with a few added bonuses that Java has, which is like on the D-pad over there. Like right here we have the chat there on that mouse one, and then this is, of course, the joystick or your movement, and then this D-pad right here, this is where the special features are. You can change your perspective, debug menu, full screen, and small screen, minimized screen, I guess, windowed mode, and then down button is drop item, as expected. But the trackpad and the, I don't know, the start button, I think is what it is, the options button, that'll get you into your main menu. And, well, that's pretty much all you need to know on that one. Everything's on there, so if you want to use it, it's the same method here. You go into Curseforge through Steam, and you have to be in big picture mode. You can have it minimized, or you can go through big picture mode, or whatever. So when you launch it, it should launch Overwolf, which you go through and you launch Curseforge. And once you get into Curseforge, it'll load up something like this. Yours will probably be empty if you haven't used it before. So, search for mod pack, or you can do this here. You can create a profile, in normal Java mode, which it's not actually, but it's, for the sake of the video, why not? I just, threw something on there together, but you could probably even find your Minecraft launcher and add it into here, I'm sure. But, otherwise, just download a mod. Most people want to play Java for a mod anyway. And if you do, you can select the latest version from the Minecraft launcher instead of the mod. So it's like two birds, one stone kind of deal. So I would suggest that over this, because this method here is kind of wonky and doesn't really work that well, as you'll see here. So we've got everything selected here, and even through here, you could go down to where it said Forge mod right there, and I didn't do it in this, but you could, and go to the latest release instead of the Forge version here, which I'm not even sure is some kind of beta or something. So I had to hop back out and change that, which you'll see. But it's a task. It's a bit of effort to subvert the expectations of Mojang. They have not reached the pinnacle of parity, so we will force some of it on them by using our controllers instead of the keyboard and mouse, which honestly I use both. Like you can have your controller in your hand, use it for a bunch of stuff, and then you can still type with your keyboard. You can still use bindings on your keyboard if you want. There's all kinds of stuff. It's really neat. It's just extra capabilities, really. So, no, that's what I use. That's what I use. And as you can see, this is taking a while because it wasn't the wasn't the right version essentially. But when you go through and do this, like I said in the last video or the last section, the Xbox section, it's not the controller isn't gonna work for you until the game is open. So when the game window opens up and it's recognize that it's a game window, then you should be able to use your controller. And right now, I'm not in big picture mode, so it doesn't work at all, unfortunately, which is what I'm about to find out. And I did record audio to this the first time around, but unfortunately, when I switched to the PlayStation controller, the microphone settings got changed, and I didn't go back into OBS to switch them around, and so we got no audio. And here I am in the post doing a voiceover here, so there we go. It didn't work. I wasn't in big picture mode. Get into big picture mode. I don't like this screen all that much. I mean, it's all the same, but I just don't like how the mouse moves and stuff in it. But if you want to, you can come into here, you can go to Manage Shortcuts, there's your controller config. This is where you can find it. And then you just go to your shortcut, and you can play from there. Or you can minimize it, which is what I usually do, because I don't like having it in the background. It's weird, but as long as you have it running, essentially, it'll go. So I've opened Curseforge through it, which opens Overwolf. It just adds an extra step for whatever reason. Through Overwolf, you go to Curseforge, and then once you're in Curseforge, now I'm just gonna go to Vault Hunters because whatever. But like we said before, it's just because I wasn't in big picture mode that the controller didn't work essentially. And now we're gonna load up Vault Hunters. And right here is where I go to, instead of Vault Hunters, we're just going to load up the latest release. So if you don't want to play the modded version that you download or whatever, it still gives you the Minecraft launcher that you need to open up to use your controller. So it's just, for me, it's easier that way. And plus, I like Vault Hunters. It's challenging and pretty wild. A lot of different mods in there. I haven't tried the medieval one I have right there yet, but there's even more mods than in the Vault Hunters, and wow, jeez. But it's got magic and stuff in it, so I can't wait to check that one out. And here we go, it's launching up. It does take a little while with Vault Hunters. It's a lot of data, Iscal85 did a lot of work, him and his development team. He's the only name I know from it off the top of my head, so... But okay, so now we can use the controller. That basically, we're in our minecraftjavaedition. We got our controller config loaded up, and we're using the controller now. We're gonna load up a new world. And I switched to full screen there. Yeah, just for the ease. I was also hitting buttons on my controller. I wasn't paying much attention. Or actually, I think I actually hit the F11 button on that one. Might have been. But you might notice a difference between the controller and the mouse. This is the mouse here, I believe. It's a lot more fluid. And then the controller is just not as fluid at all. But we're in. And I do have an overlay over this. Your screen isn't messed up or anything. It's just a little overlay. But we're in. We've got the controls in. I, of course, like to change auto jump to off, and I've got to invert my mouse. also, if you're in the latest version, you can toggle your sneak, your crouch, which is amazing. In Vault Hunters, it's version 116, so they don't have that. So just keep that in mind. It's not always available. Key bindings do change and stuff, so it is what it is. But we're in here. We're using spacebar as the X button. Or X button is the spacebar, I guess you should say. And then here, these are all the key bindings there that are on the button pad there. Apparently one of them is a caps lock. It was kind of funny, I thought. But and then I was like, wait, what's the escape button? And then I figured it out. The little trackpad in the middle, or the options button is your way out, essentially, of whatever. And just scrolling through with your bumpers, R1 and L1. I do know the lingo of a PlayStation controller, I believe. No, it's L1 and R1. Yeah. And then R2 and L2 are as you'd expect on a controller. Like, your R2 is gonna break blocks, gonna attack like this, so the sheep, smack them around a bit. And then your left button is your left trigger is place, of course. Now hitting the scroll button in like Vault earlier versions, I guess it doesn't work in this one. I don't know, but typically it'll pop it up to your crafting table instead of your inventory if you use the scroll button or the L and R1. So I mean, whatever. But if you shift click, your crouch button and click, then it'll send it into your inventory or onto your hotbar, whichever's open, or into a chest, whatever it's gonna be. But basically, that's here we go. We got place block. We're looking around with the F5 perspective change, the up on the directional pad, right? And then we're changing to minimized mode, which didn't work out too well. And then we got F3 mode, debug menu, and then we can use the down button to drop a block, of course, or drop whatever we're holding, as expected. Q button, essentially, on a keyboard, or, I don't know, whatever I think it's a down button still on Bedrock as well. And that's about it. Let's see. I don't know that there's anything else to go over. I believe that's it. We've got the controller working. Everything should work as expected. You can change your key bindings to however you'd like. Like I went over, if you hit the select button, or if you hold down select, then your buttons are going to be different and stuff. So, that's all we have there to show in Minecraft here. And I did want to do an extra little bit and show about Vault Hunter. If you're going to do Vault Hunters, essentially, there's an extra little bit of knowledge that you got to have, because most of the time it's not a default thing, essentially. So I'm going to go over that with you real quick, and we're going to go through that. I just got to get out of this big picture mode. It's like, ugh. Okay, so we've minimized big picture mode. It'll still be in effect when I go back into the game and whatnot, so we'll use the controller, yada yada. So let's go into Curseforge here, and Vault Hunters. You can find it through browse mod packs. You don't have to go to the Curseforge website or anything. You can add mod packs from here, whatever you want. Basically, it's all in here. I do believe. I got the medieval one. They have RL Craft. There's Vault Hunters, yada yada. And if you click on it, it'll take you into some details. You don't want to click on play, but like just the file itself, like so. And it'll load up. Okay, so now this screen right here, it gives you some details about it. Sometimes it'll tell you what you need, like gigabyte-wise on your RAM, but I think it's on the website instead of here. So instead, we're going to go up to these three dots here, and we're going to click that. We're going to go to profile options, and we're gonna deselect the use system memory settings. I've already done it, and we're gonna go to at least 8,000. I put it on 9,000 just in case, but if you go to like 8,024 or whatever, you'll be golden. But if you don't do that, then the system is gonna only give you like 3 or 4 gigabytes, and Vault Hunters requires 8. So you got to change that in order for it to run, or you're just going to get a bunch of crashing. I haven't used it on this one yet, but there's a lot more mods to it, so it might require more. I don't know. I haven't tried it out yet. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff to it. Um, but, hopefully we can check it out later. It looks like it'll be pretty fun. But that's all I've got for you. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I helped you out.